Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
大家好，我是 Bernice.
Today, we start a two-day lesson in our science category. You all know what science is. We're going to take a careful and professional look at something. The title is Feel Like You're Not Good Enough? You're Not Alone.
我们今天要来看一下探索科学这个单元。那么今天呢，这个探索科学的单元呢，它的主题是指，你这个人是不是总是觉得自己我不够美我不够帅？你有没有觉得你自己不够好呢？你其实不是那么单独唯一的一个人哦。
So we write here for you, don't let imposter syndrome hold you back. Imposter syndrome, this is the science part of our lesson, and we will explain that. But let's take a break first.
好的。
Feel like you're not good enough? You're not alone. Do you ever feel like you're not smart enough or good enough? Are you afraid your classmates or coworkers will find out how inexperienced you are or how little you know? Are you convinced that you only succeed due to pure luck and not because of your skills or abilities? People with these anxieties might be experiencing something known as Impostor Syndrome. An imposter is a person who acts like someone else in order to trick others. People with imposter syndrome feel like they're pretending to be someone they're not, but they're actually not playing any tricks. People feeling this way may tell themselves that they're not smart enough to be in the top class or not athletic enough to be on a sports team. Those who suffer from imposter syndrome may devalue their own abilities and may not think they deserve praise when someone says they have done a good job. Imposter syndrome is very common. In fact, experts say 70% of us feel this way at some point in our lives. It occurs more frequently when we start a new job or meet a new group of people. Those who often feel like imposters may feel stressed, worried, or depressed, and have low self-confidence. This syndrome is believed to result from several factors, including personality traits, family background, and childhood memories.
Okay, it's a two-day lesson, so let's get busy with the first full paragraph. Do you ever feel like you're not smart enough or good enough? Well, Bernice gave us a very good description of that at the beginning. This happens to almost everybody at some time or another.
对，有的时候还是会有这样的一个觉得，就是比如说，可能你觉得今天沮丧啦，你受到什么样的困难、挫折的时候，你就会有这样的一个感觉。所以他第一个句子用一个问句问大家说：你是不是曾经有觉得自己，我不够聪明，我这个人真是不够好，是不是有这样的一个怀疑呢
？Are you afraid your classmates or coworkers will find out how inexperienced you are or how little you know? Again, these are all doubts that people have about themselves. D-O-U-B-T, B-bu-find. D-O-U-B-T can be a noun or a verb. You doubt yourself. You have doubts about yourself, one of which might be, you know, I don't have a lot of experience. I'm not a professional. I'm inexperienced.
对，所以这时候就是对于你自己或者你自己的人生可能产生了一些怀疑了。这个怀疑就是说，第一个，你会不会觉得 跟同学之间，你会很害怕，或同事之间，你到底在害怕什么？就是发现有一天他们发现说啊 Bernice 其实你也没那么专业嘛，你的英文好像也没这么好嘛。 OK， 所以 inexperience 就是你这个人的经验好像不足够呢，而且呢你对于英文才知道这么一点点啊，你不是应该整本字典都知道吗？类似像这样，你会不会有这种害怕的感觉呢？
Are you convinced that you only succeed due to your pure luck and not because of your skills or abilities? Again, these are all doubts. You may convince yourself that. You may make yourself feel that for sure it is certain that I don't have what it takes. I don't know enough to do my job. I don't have the skills or abilities to complete my work.
所以刚才Bruce老师给了一个字 certain certain， 你有没有听到Bruce老师发音跟我们念 certain 是不太一样的，那个尾巴是念的音 OK， 好，所以他的意思就是说，你是不是会相信确信这件事情？什么事情？就是我今天成为一个这样的成功人士，完全是 due to because of 因为什么？哎呦，我就幸运嘛，我真的就是不错啊，很有运气啊，要不然呢，绝对不是我成功的原因，不是因为怎么样，我的 skills 我的技能不错，还有我的能力很好，而只是纯粹因为运气让我成为这么成功的老师呢。
So the previous two sentences, which are questions, in the last sentence of this paragraph, it becomes more clear. People with these anxieties, and what are anxieties? Just what these two questions are. You worry about yourself. You doubt yourself. Remember, we said doubt already. People with these anxieties might be experiencing something known as Impostor Syndrome, which we will be very clear about in the next paragraph.
所以呢，你看上面这么多的这些问句，就是让人们呢对于自己的生活产生了这样的怀疑的时候呢，他就说了，当你有这样的怀疑出现的时候，那么其实你就是有这样的 anxieties， 你就是有这些令你自己觉得很焦虑的事情出现的时候，那这时候你有可能正在经历一样东西。这个东西呢，我们以什么来作为它的出名 as？它的这个出名的这个名称呢，就叫做冒名顶替症候群。我们等一下会知道这个到底是什么样的一个状况。
Okay, in this sentence we have the plural noun anxieties, in case you're interested. There's a very common adjective from this, anxious, A-N-X-I-O-U-S, an unusual spelling. A-N-X-I-O-U-S. The X-I-O-U-S is pronounced shus, anxious.
就是形容词的担忧的。
Okay, let's take a short break and come back and find out more about Impostor Syndrome. All right, let's find out about Impostor Syndrome by looking at the first word first. An imposter is a person who acts like someone else in order to trick others. If you trick someone, you fool them. You want them to think something that isn't true. So an imposter is this kind of person. They may present themselves as confident, or they may present themselves as friendly, when actually they're trying to do something bad to you.
所以呢，我们来解释一下，到底什么叫冒名顶替者呢？他说，其实这是一种人呢，他的行为举止呢，就像是怎么样？另外一种人，什么样的人呢？他其实这个人呢，就是为了要 trick。这个 trick 就是你要去欺骗人家，你要让人家觉得其实我现在表现出来的不是真的这个样子，所以呢，这种人我们就称之为这种冒名的顶替者。
People with imposter syndrome feel like they're pretending to be someone they're not. Again, you act as though you are someone that you aren't, but they're actually not playing any tricks. Now, to trick someone, there's the verb. To play tricks is what you do when you trick someone. We use the verb play with the noun trick.
好，所以这个句子就是说呢，如果你真的有这样子的一种冒名顶替者的症状的这样的一种人呢，感觉起来他们现在就在扮演着 pretend， 就是假装自己呢是 someone， 但是这个 someone 是 they are not， 事实上并不是他现在的自己。OK， 再来呢？可是他们其实呢，并不是真正说啊，我今天假装说我不是现在，比如说我现在是英文老师，我可能假装我是个医生啊，你这个病怎样怎样，其实这个是这样子啊。我在假装的时候，其实我的目的并不是真正说为了要耍任何的把戏。那我们现在看到 trick 这个字，当动词也有当名词的意思。
People feeling this way may tell themselves that they're not smart enough to be in the top class or not athletic enough to be on a sports team. So they feel they're not good enough, they are below others, and it doesn't matter whether it's about academics, about your studies, or your physical abilities. You just are worried and anxious about yourself, so you pretend to be someone you're not.
所以这样子的人其实就是对于自己产生像我们刚才一直讲的，你产生了担忧、焦虑了。所以呢，你有这样子的感觉的人呢，其实他就是告诉他自己，我呢就是不够聪明。而且呢，是在 in the top class 顶尖的这种人，好，他觉得他自己不够聪明，又或者是他觉得，如果今天我去参加一些什么球队啦，或者一些什么样的运动的这个队伍，其实呢，我也没有大家想象的那么样的有这个运动员的体格。这个时候呢，他们就会出现这样的一个感觉了。
Those who suffer from imposter syndrome may devalue their own abilities. Okay, one thing at a time here. We should mention syndrome is a word that doctors use to describe a problem, a medical problem. And it may not be with the body, it can be in the mind, which is the one we're talking about, imposter syndrome. They may devalue, they may actually look down on themselves, or another phrase we use is they don't give themselves enough credit. Actually, they do have some ability or some knowledge, but they tell themselves, oh, I can't do anything, I don't know anything.
好，所以这种人还真的蛮假装的，有没有？他说这一群人呢 suffer from， 我们记得用 suffer from 的时候，就是表示后面是接比较不好的一些遭遇。所以呢，他说当他们遭逢到这样子的一种冒名顶替者的这个症状的时候呢，那我们刚刚讲了，这个症状可能不是你身体出了问题，就你的心灵的层面有一些状况出现了。那第一个他们就会出现devalue， 就是说 D 就是 down， 就是你把自己的价值呢贬低了。所以刚才老师有用一个 look down on， 就是你轻视你自己，你轻视你自己的一些能力。
Right, so devaluing your own abilities and may not think they deserve praise when someone says they have done a good job. So deserve means to be worthy of. Actually, you did something good, or you know something, but you say that you didn't, or you can't, or you won't, and you don't know how to accept praise from other people. If they say, hey, you did a good job, oh no, not me, I can't do that. This is part of that imposter syndrome, and as Bernice said, it's in your mind.
所以呢，这种冒名顶替者的症候群，那还有一个状况就会出现怎么样呢？就他们会认为说，哎呀，自己其实呢，对于这个要接受的赞美 praise， 人家的对你的赞美，你觉得啊，我不值得。刚才老师讲的 deserve 就是值得这个事情，你值得得到这样的一个赞美，你觉得没有，尤其是当人家说 Bernice 你好棒哦，我觉得你是全世界最美的老师，最棒的老师，那我说啊没有啦，其实我也没那么棒。这时候呢，你就开始出现了所谓冒名顶替者的症候群咯。
Okay, let's take a short break and finish our final paragraph. Okay, we're ready now for our final paragraph for today, but this is day 1. Remember, we continue tomorrow, naturally, day 2. Imposter syndrome is very common. As I said, it's not unusual, and as it said earlier, a lot of people, maybe everybody during their life, will have this feeling now and then.
所以其实啊，这种冒名顶替者的症候群呢，还挺常见的呢。搞不好同学你自己回想一下，你是不是也有这样的症候群哦？
In fact, actually, experts say 70%, 2 out of 3 people of us, of people, feel this way at some point in our lives. The people who never feel this way may be lucky, but it could be deserved. They may be proud of what they do because they try very hard to do their best and to be honest and hardworking and so on and so on. So they don't have this imposter syndrome feeling, but most of us do.
所以呢，基本上你要真的成为那样子非常非常这个幸运的人，确实他的人数不是那么多。所以呢，事实上大约呢就是有70%哦，专家说的哟，我们都会有这样子的一种冒名这个顶替者的症候群，而且是 at some point， 就是在某一个 particular time， 在某一个特殊的时刻，你就会这个症状群就发出来了，有没有 ？In our lives， 在我们的生活里面。
It, the syndrome, occurs more frequently, more often, when we start a new job or meet a new group of people. This is, people often say, oh, I'm so shy, S-H-Y, but actually it may be this imposter syndrome.
所以呢，这样的一个症状呢 occurs, happens more frequently， 经常我们常见，它到底什么时候发生呢？就是第一个，当我们开始换了一个新的工作，一个新的工作开始了。那还有呢，就是我们可能见到一群人，这些人可能不认识我们嘛，所以当我们进入到这样的一个新的团体里面，你这个症候群就会开始出现了。
Those who often feel like imposters, those with imposter syndrome, may feel stressed. They're nervous because they feel they have too much pressure, worried, anxious, or depressed, which is quite serious. They're always looking down on themselves and have low self-confidence. They're not confident about themselves, so they have low self-confidence.
没错，像这样子呢，这个所谓的冒名顶替者呢，他们可能出现的一个状况就是，第一个，他们觉得 stressed， 好有压力哦，我从生活上、工作上或者是什么样的学业上，我得到压力了，或者我觉得好苦恼，我要怎么办？我的未来怎么办？我到底要赚多少钱来养一个房子呢？还有呢，你还会开始出现忧郁的状况了，而且最重要的是，因为你对于你自己产生自信性非常的下降，很低了，所以你没有自信，你缺乏自信的时候，这个时候这个症状就是这一群人会得到的。
This syndrome is believed to result from, to come from, to derive from, D-E-R-I-V-E, D-E-R-I-V-E, to come from, derive from, result from several factors. Here we could think of reasons or sources of something, including personality traits. We all have different personalities. Trait is a sign or a part or a piece, if you like, of your personality. Family background. Were you the firstborn? Were you, the last born? Did your parents treat you very strictly? Or they didn't pay much attention to you, your family has a lot of influence on you. And childhood memories. You may have experienced some very difficult times. It wasn't your fault, but you suffered because of it. And those memories you will never lose, and they may influence you now and even in the future.
所以我们的最后一句就是讲说，为什么会有这样的一些症状？这个症状呢，其实被人家认为是这样子，这边要用被动式哦，被人家认为说呢，这样它起源于 result from 来自于呢，其实有好几个不同的因素，比如说包括什么东西呢？第一个是你的个人的个性的性格。我们刚才讲的这个 trait 就是我们每个人都有自己的个性，那它只是里面一个特别的一个特征。从你的这个个人的性格，还有你的家庭背景，那就很复杂了。你的家庭背景包含，比如说你从小到大你是家里面排行第几出生的啦，你的父母亲跟你的之间的相处的这个模式啦，还有呢，你对于你童年的一些回忆，可能你在童年的时候遇到了一些，比如说 bully，B-U-L-L-Y， 你遇到了一些霸凌的状态，那可能你就受到很大的一些不好的一些困难的这个童年的记忆，这些都是可能是这个症状的一些起因。
Okay, that does it for our text. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we will review the more important words we used today.
好的。
In the first paragraph, we have the word inexperienced. Of course, in means not. And we could also say that a person has little experience.
就是指没有经验的人。那这个 in 呢，它是一个否定的字首。
The same line, the next sentence, are you convinced that? Convinced is to be sure or certain.
你对于什么东西很确信的意思。
Also in this paragraph is the noun plural, anxieties, which means worries.
就是你担忧的一些事情。
Next paragraph, to trick others, remember we said is to fool others.
就是你去愚弄别人，你去欺骗别人的意思。
And of course that is used as a verb. If you want to use a noun phrase with trick, then add play. To play play a trick or to play tricks on someone.
对，所以你要把刚才的 trick 是动词，现在是名词，那这时候我们可以用 a trick 或者是 tricks， 那记得用 on 什么人。
At the end of the paragraph, we have deserve, and I mentioned it means to be worthy of.
就是你值得，你应该得到的。
And in the last paragraph, frequently is simply often.
就是指经常性的。
Result from, we have a few words we can use here, come from or derive from.
起源于，来自于。
And for family background, you can think of your family history.
算是一种家庭的背景，或者是你的一个历史的背景。
Okay, that's it for today, day 1. We'll be back tomorrow with day 2. Till then, bye-bye.
Bye.